For many years, people have wanted the proper wall, and we have a wall that the likes of which very few places have ever seen. And I want to thank all of the people, General Semonite from the Army Corps of Engineers. We're working very closely with them. I want to thank Kevin and all of your staff, because what they've done is beyond. And I wanted to show you some of the details of the wall. You can see a pretty good view. This is going to be close to 500 miles by the time we finish. Those are the areas that are most important. After we're completed that should be done pretty close to next year. It'll be over 400 miles, and we think we can get it close to 500 miles by the end of next year, depending on certain terrain conditions. But we're doing all of the most important areas. We have a lot of natural barriers like mountains and streams and rivers, and some pretty vicious and violent rivers actually. But it's an amazing project. And I think what I'd like you to do is if you could explain the interior of these pipes. The wall is 30 feet high. We also have 18-foot wall. We have a combination of 30 feet and 18, depending on the area, depending on the importance. Tijuana is right over here. There are thousands of people over there that had been trying to get in. Tremendous cooperation from Mexico, and the president of Mexico has been fantastic. All of Mexico has been fantastic. As you know, right now they have 27,000 soldiers. So in addition to the wall, we have the soldiers. Now the wall still obviously has a ways to go, but we're building it at a breakneck speed. I wanted them to show you the interior of parts of the wall and what's inside of each individual slat. And you'll see it's a combination of steel, concrete, and as one of the folks just said, it really is virtually impenetrable. Any walls that were put up would get knocked down very quickly, very easily. This wall is not something that can be really knocked down. I guess anything can, but this is very tough. And it goes down 6 feet. It's 3 and 4 feet wide. The concrete, you see it right here, it's exposed. And I might ask General Semonite to say a few words about it. And I'd like to bring them right up, look at the inner tube to see what happens, because after the wall is up, we pour concrete, and concrete goes into the tube. And in addition to that, we have rebar. So if you think you're going to cut it with a blowtorch, that doesn't work because you hit concrete. And then if you think you're going to go through the concrete, that doesn't work because we have very powerful rebar inside. So it's a very powerful wall, the likes of which probably to this extent has not been built before. This is an area, because it's so highly trafficked, this was one of the most dangerous areas. We have a double wall. We have a wall on both sides. One is 18 feet. That's your border, and the other one is 30 feet. And everybody, if they should be able to make that, this is where people are waiting for them. It's a very powerful situation. So, General, maybe you could take over for a couple of minutes, and then I'll take it back.
So, Mr. President, I want to build on your comments. This is a system. It is both the two walls, but it also is the road networks down through the middle and the back, so that Customs and Border can go ahead and continue to be able to move around it. Also, lighting system. And as you think about this, I mean, it really is kind of a defense in depth. When you think about these panels going up, right now we're putting in about 270 panels a day that are going in the ground. We've got over 44,000 panels that are already built. And you think about the depth of how we're doing it, without getting a lot of details, 66 miles today are already completed. There's 251 miles that are under contract going in the ground right now at 17 other sites. There's 163 miles that are actually on contracts that are going to be let in the next 90 days, and the remainder of the miles the President talked about is mainly private land. It takes a little bit longer to get. One of the things I want to just remind you about, when you have a football field, kind of a flat area like this, it's a little bit easier to build a wall. But if you just turn around and look at the mountain behind you, one of the projects that's going to go up in the next year continues this barrier right up over the rest of that mountain. So it goes back to be able to, we've got to have this linear capability to be able to continue to provide that level of defense. We will talk, this is what the bollards look like, 30 feet high on the backside, and you'll see on the inside there was the time before.
Come on over here if you want. You can bring the cameras. It's sort of interesting.
Where people were worried that maybe you could negotiate through the ballard. So what the ballard is now, again, is that there are two pieces of rebar, 12 feet long, that are inside the ballard. And then when we put it up, we put concrete in. I won't tell you the depth of the concrete, but it's a pretty substantial obstacle to be able to go through. And I would defer to you, Commissioner, for anything else you want to add.
Yeah, thanks, General. So a very important part of this, and that's why the president was talking about the general. Right here, what the wall gets is it gets the men and women of CBP, specifically Border Patrol, operational capacity to get to the area where people are trying to illegally cross. Before the old landing style, they could cut through that in seconds. Sometimes they could come a vehicle and just knock it over, and literally within seconds, they were into the United States illegally. This makes it almost impenetrable. Right now, they've had 4 attempts to cut through this. All 4 times it's failed. Border Patrol's been able to respond and interdict those individuals. This right here, this design, it's a game changer.